In this video, I'm going to be going over how to make a very simple meal plan. Okay, where people mess this up is by making a complicated meal plan. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to do. Now, the first thing you need to do though is find your calories and macros. All right, so I got these numbers from the last video that I made. I'm just using the same exact one. That way people can like watch it, back to back. So if you don't know your calories or macros, go ahead and go to my other nutrition video that's called how to calculate your calories and macros. Find out your numbers, and then you can come here and then we can apply it. If you don't have these numbers figured out, then you have nothing to base your meal plan off of, and essentially it's almost useless. So you're gonna want to know your calories and macros so that you can build your meal plan based off of that, right? These are the numbers that we're going to be going for. Notice I said going for. Like, you're not going to hit them perfectly right on the dot every single time. That's just not realistic. Okay, so we're going to get around it. We're going to get as close as possible. I like to use firearms as an example because that's just what I'm familiar with. But either way, so like when you first start shooting, you're typically not very good at it, unless you're me. But like the average person, when you first start, you're not that good at it. But the more you do it, the closer and closer you're going to get to hitting your target. The closer and closer you are going to get to hitting that bullseye. So when you first start, you may not get the bullseye immediately, but all you need to do is start, and then you have to keep on doing it, and next thing you know, you're getting closer and closer to your target. Okay, so don't let this discourage you. I know that you're gonna have these numbers and you're like, damn, like you say like the first week, like you didn't even like get like say within 50 calories plus or minus 2500, so 2450 and 2550. Say you were struggling to get around that number, like say you were like at maybe 22 or even 2600, like that's no big deal. That's actually closer than what you think. A lot of people don't even eat 2000 calories when they need to be eating 2500. So just the fact that you're going for it is all that fucking matters, because as you continue to do it, and don't get discouraged, just as you continue to do it, you're going to get fucking better at it. Okay, so it's just reps. The simple structure that I'm going to use is going to be 3 meals and 1 snack. I'm going to get right into it and start building meal number 1, all right? So meal number 1. For meal number 1, I'm going to be doing 2 whole eggs, 1 cup of egg whites, and 2 servings of rice. Now the macros, this comes out to 550 calories, 38 grams of protein. I'm just going to write 38p. Oh yeah, and by the way, I don't think I said this at the beginning, but yeah, calories obviously means calories. P is protein, C is carbs, F is fat. So down here, when I'm writing 38p, that means 38 grams of protein, right? And then it's going to be 72 grams of C, so carbs, and then slash 10 grams of fat. So every meal is going to want to bias protein. So you're going to want to build around protein. That's why we have 2 whole eggs, which is also going to include some fat in it. And then you want to add even more protein without adding the calories or any of the other macros. So you're going to do a cup of egg whites, which is really going to boost up the protein, and then 2 servings of rice, so you can get a good amount of carbs to start your day and have that energy for the day. Moving on to meal 2, this can be considered your lunch, and it's going to be based around chicken, specifically chicken breasts. Here I'm going to write 6 ounces of chicken, so 6 OZ means ounces. And then we're going to add some more rice here, 2 servings. The macros for this are going to be 570 calories. Just remember, just cal, 55p, 55 grams of protein, 72 grams of carbs, so 72C, and then this only has about 5 grams of fat in it, all right? I know what you're thinking already, chicken and rice, oh my god. Well, there are certain things you can do to make chicken and rice bomb as hell. And by the way, you can add veggies to any of this. Veggies have like no fucking calories in them. 1 whole serving of broccoli is only like 30 calories or 35 calories. Well, and that goes for like most veggies. There's like no calories in them. I think asparagus has like maybe 20 calories or something per serving. And you can add fucking veggies to anything here on your meal plan. There's also different sauces you can use. Like for here, I like to use a serving of ketchup. I just kind of drizzle it on all over my rice and eggs, mix it up, and it's really good. So there's little things like that that you can add to make your meal plan a little more interesting. Meal number 3 is going to be based around ground beef. We're going to go with another 6 ounces of ground beef. Not another, but like another 6 ounces worth of meat. Whoa. And then again, 2 more servings of rice. And by the way, I know I'm putting rice a lot. I'm just making it simple. That's it. So what you could do is just swap this out for potatoes. There's plenty of other things you can do. I'm just doing like a skeleton, like just the structure of it. Again, simple meal plan, right? Calories and macros for this comes out to 615 calories, 45 P, 72 C, and 15 F. So notice dinner is the exact same structure as meal number 2. You can add different sauces. I know you're thinking like, dude, this is super basic, super simple. The boring shit wins, man. If you ever come across a really good nutrition coach, they're gonna tell you that the simple foods are the easiest ones to start with. Especially if this isn't a habit for you, then you need the simple stuff. If you try to make shit complicated, you are not gonna be consistent. Lastly, I'm going to be going over the snack. For the snack, you're gonna have some whey protein, so you can either mix that in with the next ingredient I'm gonna say, which is yogurt, Greek yogurt. So you can mix that in, or you could just straight up have a protein shake. So I'm just gonna write down here whey protein for now, but you can make it however you want. And then we got yogurt, banana, peanut butter. 550 calories, 45 P, 50 C, 16 F. Cool, so this one is a little more well-rounded. As you can see, the protein and carbs are pretty close together. That's just to pretty much just balance out the rest of the day. Now, if my math didn't screw me over, this comes out to 2,285 calories. So I'm gonna write down the totals here at the bottom. 183 grams of protein, 266 grams of carbs. Whoops, write a bigger C than that. And then it's gonna be 46 grams of fat. So as you can see, just by doing that, this gets me somewhat in the range of these numbers here. It's not too far off. Like if you were consistently doing this, like that's pretty fucking solid. You're actually gonna do very well. But here are some things you can do to tighten it up to have more precision, all right? I'm gonna show you how you can make adjustments here. So the main thing that you really wanna do is not really change the foods that you're eating. So if like, say you're building your plan, you're like, oh man, it doesn't line up. I need to change the food I'm eating. That's wrong. You don't need to change the food you're eating. You just need to change the portions, all right? So if you want to like increase your protein, what we could do is just add another half scoop of protein powder to that. Easily just bump your protein up by, what is that, another 12 and a half. So that would put you very, much closer to fucking 200. And then, if you want to increase your carbs a little bit, just add a little bit of rice wherever you want. Or what you could do also, so I noticed, 2 servings of rice pretty much all across the board. But as you can see here with ground beef, you could switch that over to pasta and then add, a serving or a couple servings of marinara sauce. Next thing you know, you got some spaghetti right there. And then to make it even better, obviously besides seasoning it, you could chop up, this is what I like, me and my wife like to do. We chop up some mushrooms, saute the mushrooms a little bit, and add it into that spaghetti. So as you can see here, like you can change things up. And then chicken and rice, chicken and potatoes. So it's just all these little things that you could do to make it better, make it different. Some people like quinoa, you can swap in quinoa. And that's gonna come with reps as you get better at it. Right now, I wouldn't focus too much on that. What I would do is just try to get this down to where you can hit your numbers. Then after that, you can start to make adjustments, all right, and make it a little more interesting for you. Now we're gonna do a live adjustment. I wish this thing was taller so I didn't have to get down. Now we're going to do a live adjustment. I'm just gonna write adjustment right here real quick. So as you can see here, we got 183 grams of protein, but we need 200, right? And then same thing with the carbs, 266, but we need 290. For the fat, we have 46, but we need 60. So I'm gonna show you some simple adjustments that you guys can do, okay? The first adjustment I'm gonna make is just adding half a serving of rice, which is going to add about 80 calories and about 18 grams of carbs. The next adjustment I'm going to talk about is oil, and I'm actually going to elaborate a little more on this right now because I think a lot of people misuse oil. I think a lot of people grab the whole container of oil and they drizzle on the entire pan. If you look at the nutrition facts on the back of the container, 1 tablespoon, just 1 tablespoon, is 120 calories and about 14 grams of fat. Now, when you're just drizzling it out, imagine if you like gathered all that oil and saw how many tablespoons it was. I guarantee you it was more than 1 tablespoon. So you're potentially adding hundreds of calories to your meal by doing that with your oil. So you need to measure your oil. You just need to. Just grab one of the little tablespoons, or even, just a regular spoon that you use to eat, pour the oil on there, and then use that. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, try it out. It's actually plenty. Just spread it around your pan, all right, before you start cooking. So 1 tablespoon of olive oil is going to add about 120 calories and 14 grams of fat. Now the last thing is going to be adding half a scoop of whey protein powder. And that is going to add about 60 calories and 12.5 grams of protein. But for simple numbers, I'm just going to write 12. After doing the math, your new total is now much closer to your target. All right, so you're only over by 45 calories. That's no big deal. Imagine if you hit this. Imagine, so this is your target. Here, I think you can see that better, and I'm just gonna move this aside. So imagine this is your target, but you're getting this close. See, 195 grams of protein. You're only off by 5. That's literally nothing. And then, what is this, 284? Goal is 290. Again, nothing, 60. 60, right on the dot. So imagine if you had this type of precision. This comes with skill, and it comes with starting with a simple meal plan. You gotta start simple, and then from there, you make adjustments, all right? So all I did here is very simple stuff. Half a serving of rice. You could throw that in wherever you want. And then, see, a tablespoon of olive oil. Throw that in wherever you want. If you want to cook your chicken or your ground beef with it, whatever. Half a scoop of whey protein. Just add that to the protein shake. So it's like a scoop and a half here to your protein. If you want to add it to your yogurt, go ahead and do that. If you just want it in a protein shake, then go ahead and do that. And by the way, I forgot to say this, but for the snack, this doesn't all have to get eaten like in one shot. If you want to eat, like, say, banana and yogurt right before you work out, say in the morning or something, then you can do that. So you can split up this snack. You don't need to eat it all in one sitting. And then banana and peanut butter, obviously that goes super well together. You're probably gonna want to keep those together. It's all up to you, man. It really is. So you can split this up however you want. You can eat these meals in any order that you want. You can add any sauces that you want. You just obviously need to take into account the calories and macros of each sauce. So if you're going to use something like ranch, which is what a lot of people do, you have to take into account the calories and macros. I highly recommend using an app like MyFitnessPal or Macro Factor or something like that, to where you can easily just plug in your meals and then it does all the math for you. So you don't need to like type everything out, or on your phone, or try to write everything out. You can just simply put it into the app and make adjustments accordingly. And I know that some people are probably going to have questions about this. Dude, just hit me up. Either just leave it on the comments below, or there's a link in the description to my Instagram. Go ahead and click on that, and then send me a DM on Instagram, because I'm a little more responsive on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube. So if you want a quicker response, just hit me up on Instagram. And then within the description, I also have a link to free training, which breaks down the system that me and my clients use to get into the fucking shape that we're getting in. So I hope this made sense, guys. I try to break it down as simple as possible. I think everybody pretty much has access to eggs, egg whites, rice, chicken, ground beef. By the way, with the ground beef, stick with at least 90% lean. If you can, do 93%. I personally do between like 93%, or I'll go to 96% lean ground beef. Or you can also swap it out. So guys, you can like swap stuff out. Instead of you doing ground beef, do ground turkey. And then for chicken, you know what? Instead of rice, I'm going to use tortillas and I'm going to make some tacos. And then you could chop up some vegetables, say like onion and tomatoes, and I'm going to put it on top, right? There's all these things that you can do to make these slight adjustments. This is just the skeleton of it. This is just the framework. And then once you get good at the framework, then you can start expanding a little bit and making your meals more interesting. So if you guys have this framework down already, but you want tips and tricks on how to really expand and make your meals more interesting, I'm telling you, just hit me up. I am more than welcome to help you guys. The reason why I post videos like this and do all this is because I really do want to help people out. That's it for the video, guys. If you watched the entire thing, I appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the next one.